row a little shorter in those first few strokes, try and get the boat up and running, and then they start to lengthen out and lay down that power. I've had this boat described to me by the athletes as a diesel engine that chugs along a little bit in the first few strokes, but once it gets going, it's like a Mack truck, nothing will stop it. Very convincing display. Again, the blade work, I think they're going to make me take a look and just try and tighten it up a little bit, but all things considered, especially not having rowed yesterday and being on the water all ready to go, they handled the pressure very well. And of course there is pressure on this crew. There's no doubt that they are trying to erase the memories of 2004 and write what they would like to say is a new chapter in Canadian men's 8 rowing history.
So there's the official order of finish. Canada, the Netherlands, and Australia crosses almost a minute and a half back of the Canadians. Get an official finish, so they will go to the repechage, but it's the Canadians who have the spot in the final.
And that was heat number 1 of the qualifying for the men's 8. Great Britain went later and actually put down a faster time. Of course, it means nothing, as Barney and Scott were referencing. Once Canada was home and cool, they could ease off in their particular event. But it does set up a neat battle between Great Britain and Canada for the gold medal in the men's 8s. The women's 8s, plus the story on what happened to the Aussies. The fin on the boat evidently broke down. Let's get that now as we go back out for a report on the day yesterday. Here's Scott Oak and Barney. Scott.
Well, here at the Shunyi Olympic Rowing Park, Canada's men's 8 crew took care of business today. We'll deal with them in a moment, Barney, but first let's talk about what happened to the women. They finished poor third in their heat behind the USA and Great Britain. They never looked like they were in it. What happened?
Well, my question goes towards the mindset of the crew. After yesterday's events, they sat in the starting gate, they were ready to go. We heard they were ready to go yesterday. They didn't look ready to go today. Terrible start, never settled into rhythm, and they have so many questions to be answered now, and only 2 days to answer those.
So it was clear from the start that this would not be Canada's day.
We didn't have the best start, and we know we can go a lot faster out of the gates, and we're going to expect to do that in 2 days' time. Leslie, I'll take it over to you. You were in charge there trying to get them to up their stroke rate. What were you saying about the 1,000-meter mark?
Oh, we were just following our race plan, but we obviously knew where we were in the race. We knew it was a heat, and you're always pacing yourself for the next day and 2 days from now, actually. And so we were just following along with our race plan and not panicking, just seeing where we were going to be.
Aaron Paul spoke to the Canadian crew as far as today, so Barney, the women are on to the repechage. The men were full value for their victory in their heat, won it convincingly to justify their gold medal favorite status. What did you think of their form?
Well, I think they answered all the questions that we had about whether or not coming down yesterday after that delay and getting back up today would be possible. They certainly were up for it. No doubt there was intensity in those faces on the starting blocks. I thought the blade work was a little scratchy. Now they're going to give me a hard time about that and say we're about power, we're not trying to look good. But the reality is they're up against some very tough crews in the final. They know they're going to need their best performance. Luckily, that's something they can build on, and they've got 6 days to do it.
One thing the men had to do early in their heat was dodge an obstacle when the Australians lost a rudder.
Not sure what I'm seeing there from the Australian boat.
Well, it's hard not to notice them when they almost hit us, but Brian asked for a bit of a surge there, and we stayed clear and stayed out of trouble, and, you know, after they drop back, you got to just focus on the other competitors.
All right, and just finally, you've obviously laid down the charge here, Brian. Just looking ahead now to your next race.
Well, it's nice for us. You know, we have the week to prepare now, prepare the way that we want to prepare for the final, and I think that sets up well for us. You know, now we can watch the rep and see what other people are doing, and but, you know, at the end of the day, we need to prepare the way we need to do it, and we've been doing it all year, so ready for the final.
So the men through to the final, and Bernie, how about the second heat? We thought that the USA and China would try to kill each other off, and meanwhile, Great Britain rowed beautifully to win it convincingly. Where did that effort come from?
Well, it came from a lot of heartache in the bow.
Wow, now he's eating your hat, she's eating your hat. I just have such a soft place in my heart for horses. And to see what this horse did, I'm blown away. And I'm going to give her a 10 because she was amazing.